All right. So we are live. We are Sing for Your Lives. I'm Graham Anduri.
And I'm Dr. Stephanie Anduri.
And we are live with Cassidy Ewert. She is she's a music theater singer, and she is in our Infuse Career Mentorship for Singers program. And so we're going to talk with Cassidy a little bit today about what her path has been so far and what has changed for her since she enrolled in the program, and where she's going with all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it seems that you've probably made some pretty big, I know you've made some big vocal strides. It seems like you've made some big mindset shifts too. So we're so excited to dig in and see how this is all going for you.
Absolutely. So for anybody that's out there watching right now, go ahead and just let us know what kinds of issues are you facing with your vocal career these days? What are you up against when it comes to embarking on a career in the modern performing arts industry? Because things today are different than they were even when we were in school 20 years ago. And
we don't need to talk about that.
It's a really rapidly changing industry. So what we've had to experience and go through and figure out on our own is we want to try to create something, or we have created something. We want to help people to not have to struggle through the same things that we struggled with. And so that's where this Infuse program comes in. That's what we're helping Cassidy to do. So,
yes, absolutely.
Cassidy, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, and for taking part of the program. You are such a joy, and it's so much fun to work with you. I'm curious, will you tell us a little bit about just your background and kind of your journey through singing and through performing?
Yeah, where did you come from? Where were you prior to joining into this program?
I'm from Bossier City, Louisiana, which is northern Louisiana, close to Texas. So I have all the southern roots in me. And I randomly did a talent show when I was in elementary school, and I've been singing ever since. I was very shy, and singing is what brought me out of that, definitely. And I did a lot of community theater growing up. And then around the time of the pandemic, we've talked about this in my sessions, but I took a hiatus. I even had used the word retired before.
Out of retirement.
Yes, but I ended up at International Performing Arts Institute, which is where I came into contact with y'all. And that definitely opened me back up into the possibility of getting back into performing at a professional level. Because I sing around, I restaurant sing and do things like that. But now I want to get back on the stage, and y'all are helping me with that for sure.
Awesome. Thank you. We're so glad we get to do that.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about what some of your maybe some of your blind spots were, as far as how to embark on a performing career in music theater? Maybe things that you weren't aware of before that maybe you've found some illumination on in the past few weeks.
Definitely. My path is kind of different because I didn't go to school for theater. So to me, I didn't see the end. I didn't see how I could get anywhere. It didn't seem possible to me without the contact, without the training. But y'all are showing me that that's not everything. And I do have a lot in my toolbox that other people don't have as well. Yeah. And also when we went through our worksheet and wrote down my roadblocks, things that I thought were absolutely detrimental to me, I wasn't going to get through. They're not even really roadblocks. Yeah. And so getting past that mindset has really helped me.
Yeah. I'll say even some of the things that you thought were roadblocks, that you thought were I don't like this about my past or about myself or about my history. We kind of helped you to realize, as I recall, we were no, these are actually, you can use these in your favor. Even it's not even that they're roadblocks. They're not roadblocks. You can use this.
They're beneficial. Absolutely.
To further, to advance where you are, and to kind of work in your favor, to work in your advantage.
Yeah. Absolutely. Even just the few weeks that I've had, you all have showed me a whole world of things I didn't even think were open for me. I can see different audition opportunities that I thought I wasn't either ready for, or you had to have prior connections to get to. And I can see how that would be helpful for people that do go to college, because just because you go to college for theater, there's no rule book, and you're kind of just thrown out into the world, and you have to make your own path.
The thing about, and we say this all the time, like we've taught in colleges for a decade. We love higher education. We want 98 more degrees, each of us. Like we just get so excited about that. But it's not, it's really teaching just the voice. It's not teaching the whole career. And that's such a shortcoming for so many people who graduate and have no idea how to be entrepreneurs, how to build their own careers, how to, like, what mindset shifts need to change, happen, what vocal, like there's so many things that we can't know until we've experienced them. And school is just not designed to share those things. And so for you came in with like the angels touched your voice, and it just like comes out of your face so incredibly easily and beautifully and expressively every time you sing. I've never heard you sing that I haven't teared up at least once, like that every time. It's just the most exquisite thing. And I feel so honored to like be teaching you and working with you because of that. But all of that stuff is already in place. And so the fear that you've had of like, well, I don't have this traditional path that I think everybody's supposed to have. I think that traditional path wouldn't have prepared you any better, but maybe would have trained some of the rawness and honesty that's so expressive and so vulnerable out of your voice. And I'm so glad that you didn't go that route, because I think for you it would have been detrimental. And you have all of the tools that the people who did go to college have. You've just gotten them in a different way,
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about like what you were doing even prior to the pandemic? What were you doing? You said you've been singing you kind of have this ongoing restaurant gig. Where were you before, and what did you imagine yourself doing? And then how has that, where are you now as far as where do you feel like you're headed today?
Yes. Well, I have a little piano duo that I sing little jazz sets with, and we'll do different restaurants, hotels, just really wherever it'll take us, And then I also have done a lot of community theater around my area. And I wouldn't say it's very heavily saturated here. So it's kind of wherever you find it, you take the opportunity. Yeah. But I honestly haven't really been on stage to that capacity since pre-pandemic. And I would say what I thought I would lead is, to be honest, I thought it was done for me. I thought I wasn't going to go back to.
Really? How come?
I think it all goes back to me not going to school for it. I think, and then I thought about going back, and then the pandemic hit, and I thought, well, I'm 21 now, and I know it sounds so ridiculous, but I was like, I'm 19, I'm 20, there's nothing for me. Like I'm old. Looking at like the new crop, and you hear it so often. Oh well, you're a big fish here, but once you get to New York, you're nothing. Y'all are also helping me realize that's not necessarily true either. There's a lot of talent out there, and that's what's beautiful about it.
Yep.
It's the diversity.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the diversity of talent that matters. And New York is not the only place in the world that things happen.
No, there is so much theater in so many places, and it's so exciting that there are so many, like, there are for music theater right now, just because we're talking to you, like Chicago's a big area and LA is huge, and there's
you were talking about Nashville.
Right, we talked about Nashville.
Coaching the other day.
Germany is like giant, like all of the German countries are huge into music theater right now, and it is just exploding all over the world. So what a beautiful time for you to get into this and like explore it.
That's another thing y'all have definitely helped me see, is because it sounds dumb now, but I thought like, well, Broadway is it. And if you don't make it to Broadway, how can you perform? How can you do that? Yeah. But there's so much more, and it's all valuable, and it's all real. Yeah. It's not, Broadway isn't theater. Theater is everywhere.
Yes. Yes. Theater is not limited to one street in one city in the world. It's so, like I don't know. It's everywhere, just like you said.
That's like, it's like, yeah, if you don't make it to the major leagues in baseball, then you're not a baseball player.
You've never played before.
There's so much more out there. You don't have to, it's like, it's not all or nothing. There's so many different, but it's painted that way.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Performing arts industry is painted like there's one path to success. And if you don't follow that exact path and achieve exactly the things that everybody thinks you should, then it's not worth it. You failed. And that's, you know, what we're telling everybody, and what you're finding out is that that's not the case at all. Yeah. Everybody can define what success looks like to them. Everybody can figure out a path that works for their needs, for their life, for what they feel is going to be fulfilling.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing that y'all have definitely helped me see, is that a career isn't put in a box. I can use different things about me and different interests I have and make my own path and make my own career. It doesn't have to be exactly like people think it should be.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And it never is. It's never going to be exactly what you think it is. And so, like, being in command of it and like creating your life around the things that bring you joy and incorporating all of these things and finding ways to like really bring all of your dreams to fruition and not just this one piece of this one dream. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So what kind of, can you be specific, maybe a little more specific about what kind of clarity have you found for your specific path? Like what do you feel like? I know we're still, you're at the beginning of this program. There's a lot that we have yet to uncover and to explore. But what kind of clarity do you feel like you have now that you maybe didn't 2 weeks ago even, or 3 weeks ago, on what your path is moving forward?
A big thing that I've realized is marketing myself as a performer and marketing things I can do outside of being a character. Because we've talked about creating one-woman show, doing things like that, where it's not necessarily, I've got to hit the ground running, auditioning. There are other opportunities that I can do. If that makes sense.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's huge. Fantastic.
Yeah. So if anybody that's watching out there live right now, if you guys have questions for Cassidy, if you have questions for us, put those in the chat and we'll hit them as we see them. But one of the things that we've really been talking to you about, and the things that this program is really based on, is like you just talked about, self-marketing rather than waiting for somebody else to market you. You got to take the bull by the horns if you're going to create your own career. And
building your own thing, and entrepreneurship, and learning how to be an entrepreneur. That's so important. And I love that you're touching on all of these, recognizing these.
And I think that I'm sorry if I interrupted. Sorry. Getting on that path, it also sets up for success in ending up where I will be happy and where I will, because you can get somewhere. I could get to Broadway and think, oh, it's not what I expected. It's not exactly what I wanted, but now I can kind of find something custom tailored to what works for me.
Yeah. And one of the kind of the pillar concepts that we have for Sing for Your Lives, or everything that we do, is understanding your why. Understanding your purpose behind what you're doing. If your goal is just I got to get to Broadway because that's what I'm supposed to do, and then you get there and it's like, okay, now what? Like, okay, I have to sing 8 shows a week and I have to be perfect every single time, or else I'm going to get canned. And why am I doing this? And if you don't have that clear understanding of why you do what you do as an artist, then it's really easy to get lost in the mix and kind of lose your motivation. And we've seen this a lot. We've seen a lot of really high-level performers that they lose that why. They don't have a clear sense of why they're doing what they're doing. And they may have a good career for a little while, and then they kind of lose the steam because they don't have the motivation. They don't have the reason for the motivation. And so that's a big part of what we've been talking about with you, is understanding that you have a purpose, and everybody's got a different purpose for why they do what they do. But ultimately, it usually comes down to connecting with people and helping people. And you're big on that. You were talking to us. Remind us a little bit. What were you were talking about you wanted to help people with?
Well, I think for a long time, a part of the reason I didn't want to sing professionally as well is because I felt like it was selfish, because I felt like I enjoy singing It's what I want to do. And then I stopped and I thought, well, what has music done for me? What have different performances done to me? And they have helped me. And they have shaped me into who I am, even from a young girl. So I think that connection that comes with being on stage, it's something that's indescribable, and it's something you can't find in a different thing, in a different place.
Yeah.
So that's my why, is connecting and just being a little escape for a little moment, even just a 2-minute song, just to be a place for someone to go.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is with that, that's a lot of artists will talk, especially musicians, they talk about music being this escape from, whatever you're dealing with at that moment. And you can kind of set that aside and just be here, be present with the song. And music is really powerful at doing that, but it goes beyond just that 2 minutes or that 2 hours even. Yeah. When you feel that sort of this is the kind of the other big thing is that we talk about is the emotional impact that you create. Having that emotional intention as a performer that leaves an emotional impact on your audience, because then it goes beyond just the performance. You're still like, I know I've been in performances where I leave the performance and I'm like, that's going to take a while. This is sticking with me. Yeah. This is making me re-examine like who I am and how I exist in the world. Yeah. And that's, what a transformative performance is. That's what transformative singing is all about, is getting people to realize that, or to examine what is making this performance making me feel so intensely right now. How is this making me, shift my perspective on myself and on other people, and understand myself and other people differently?
Absolutely.
And boy, you do that inherently really, really well, whether you know it or not.
Yep. Absolutely. So how does it feel? I mean, how are you feeling after having started this program and digging in? Do you feel a shift? What are you experiencing in your just how you're feeling around your voice and around your career?
I definitely, even just again in the short time we've spent together, I have a different, I don't even know that confidence is the word, but like more of an assurance of, I know I'm gonna, whatever I do, it's gonna be right for me. And it's going to be okay. I know it's the most dramatic thing to say, but like, it's going to be okay. And y'all's teaching style is, I think it's very unique, and it's something I haven't experienced before. And I think because it's very loving, and it makes me feel, there's a happy medium between just saying I've had lessons where people have just said, "Oh, you're great. That's really it." And things where I've been bogged down. But there's a medium. There's a way to get your point across. And y'all, I think we communicate very well together.
Yeah,
but
I do too.
Also because of the work y'all have put in. Because I notice you'll say, you're trying to help me find, I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up.
No, you're fine.
In my lesson, you said something, you were trying to figure out what words I connected to and how you could explain things to me. And I've never had a teacher really tell me that. It's kind of been whatever they say, I have to figure it out.
You have to, you have to listen to my
I mean, style is just how they do it, but I think y'all custom tailor it to everyone.
Yeah. We try to, because our voices are so individual and we experience them so differently. And we all have like a big bucket of language that we've used our whole lives and that we've experienced our bodies with our whole lives. And so it's so crucial for pedagogues to know how to address different people differently, because we're not all the same. We don't all have the same body,
Yeah.
Everybody understands things differently.
Juanita asked how long we have been working together. So this program, this is your third week. Is that right? We're heading into your third.
Yes, going into my third.
Cool. So going into your third week. We also spent a month together in Fairhope, Alabama this last summer.
Yeah. She did a training program called the International Performing Arts Institute. We didn't get to work a lot with Cassidy in a direct sense there. She did some of the group things that we offered at that program. So, but we got to know each other a little bit. We got to hear her sing quite a bit at that time. But this has been just in the last couple of weeks that we've really started to work seriously together, that she's joined this program, and she's already made some pretty fantastic strides, vocally, mentally, emotionally, and just as you've talked about, just kind of gaining some clarity on what your path is. And along those lines, so what do you feel like you're excited for now about, what do you see in your future that is kind of bolstering you, and it is exciting for, what the possibilities are?
Well, we've talked a lot about, again, marketing myself and really just feeling confident in my ability. And I think, again, it all goes back to the school thing. But I thought because of that, well, I'll need to fine tune a lot. But y'all are showing me that it's not really, again, it's not all about that. It's not all about, and I'm never going to be perfect.
Nobody is. That's not the goal.
There's no such thing.
I can't wait to get out there until I feel ready in the sense that it'll be perfect, because it's just not going to be. And failure is beautiful. It is. You learn through it.
Yeah. I mean, I say this all the time, and I'm sure everyone who's watching has heard me say this. If music were perfect, it would be math. It's not supposed to be accurate. It's supposed to be human, and humans are messy, right? Like our lives are messy and our experiences are messy. And so if the voice fits perfectly into this neat little box, and there's never a time that it's vulnerable and that it's messy, then we can't relate to it. And the whole thing is about relatability. It's not about hearing perfection. It's not about 6 to 8 oscillations per second, or any of the other rules that people come up with that, like, your voice is supposed to do this at this exact pitch, and if it doesn't do this, then you're not a singer. And it just is so limiting when you think of it that way. And nobody ever feels emotionally drawn in by a singer whose focus is just on precision, rather than on expression and honesty and vulnerability and all of these other beautiful qualities.
Connection over perfection. It's not about the accuracy and the connection or the perfection of your voice, the accuracy of the music. It's about making people feel something.
Right.
And so once you realize that's what your goal is, if so many things improve. I mean, vocally, your voice just starts doing different things. You start to think more artistically and expressively, and like you kind of forget to be afraid. You forget to be anxious about performing, and just so many good things happen. But it also makes such a bigger impact on the audience, and that's making an impact on people is really what it's all about. It's about getting people to see things differently and feel things differently.
Yeah, and y'all definitely provide a safe space for that, a safe space to mess up. And I've said so many times to y'all, well, this might be dumb, this might be this, and I don't feel like I have to say that anymore. Y'all kind of wash it away, because it's okay. It's going to be fine, and again, that's where I think I've made some of my biggest strides, is when I just let myself be and let myself mess up and learn from that and feel it and let it go. Just let it wash away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
So,
Cass, we are so excited for everything that you
are. You're going to be going big places for sure. And we're so, I mean, it's, you've got the stuff to make it happen. We're just kind of helping you to find what that path looks like and put some street lights on that path. But you're the one doing the work, and you should be really proud of what you've accomplished so far, and be excited about where you're headed. We're really excited for it.
Absolutely.
So just kind of to sum up, if you could say, like, what are the, like, I'm trying to find the camera here. What are three things that you feel like you've, in the last 2 weeks, that you have that you've gained, or that what 3 big benefits have you gained from your time in this program so far, in the Infuse program?
First, I'll just go back to the clarity of, even just after our first career coaching, y'all laid it out so well for me to be able to understand what I was supposed to do. Because I think a lot of times when I've spoken to people about, oh, well, what am I supposed to do? What's my next step? They just say, well, you could do this, this, or this.
Yeah.
And not really talk to me about, well, what do you want to do? What is your goal? And let's work around that. So that's one of my big things. Definitely a confidence boost, even just after a little bit, you know, again, because y'all, I love the way y'all teach, and I love even just talking to y'all. I really enjoy everything about this program, you know.
So glad.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Let me think. Really just everything. I enjoy it. And there's a big community too, because different people in the program that some I've known from past programs I've done, and other people I've never, they're across the country, across the world even.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice to have that kind of in your back pocket of people that are experiencing the same things as you and going through the same thing.
Yeah.
It's nice that y'all provided that community for us, and we're not all kind of boxed off in our own thing.
Sure.
I
Cool.
love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm so excited to just keep celebrating you and keep watching you grow. This is so exciting.
Yeah, we still got lots of awesome stuff to do. Yeah. So if anybody out there watching is looking for something like what Cassidy is describing, if you're looking for more clarity in your career path, if you're looking for more confidence in yourself and what you're able to offer, and if you're looking for that community of professional connections and you're understanding how you can create a path for yourself rather than asking permission from somebody else to give you opportunities, but going out and creating those opportunities on your own, then send us a message, leave a comment, and let's set up a free 15-minute call just to talk through what your options might be and how we might be able to help you along those lines. We can do a quick discovery call. No obligations to do anything with it. We want to help you gain some clarity on your path and figure out how you can be successful in what you're trying to accomplish.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we're also, if you're looking to have a deeper understanding of how you can create a career for yourself. She's so young. She is so young. She's still a baby. But we're doing another free workshop this Sunday afternoon, 1:00 Mountain Time. It's called Singing for Success, and it's forging a career in the 21st century as a 21st century singer. So if you're interested in how that looks for you specifically, then send us a message and we can get you the link to sign up for that. Again, it's free to attend, no cost for that one, and you can gain that clarity. You can understand how you can be successful on a path that you create for yourself rather than a path that everybody tells you should be taking. And if you don't take that, then you're a failure.
Yep.
That's all BS. You don't have to do the same thing that everybody else did. Again, what you were saying earlier, Cassidy, diversity of talent is so key. Like if everybody's trying to do exactly the same thing, we all have the same audition package, we all audition at the same places, then that doesn't serve anybody. It just becomes this whitewash of everybody kind of sounding the same and doing the same things. So let's get people doing new things and different things and create some diversity in the way that we present art to the world and music to the world.
Yes, absolutely. Cass, thank you so much for being here and for being part of the program. It's like the biggest joy, and we are so excited for every time we get to work with you. And everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know if you have any questions or any comments, and we will hopefully see everyone on Sunday.
Yeah. All righty. Cool. We'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.